and welcome to No Such Thing as a Bad Movie podcast. I'm April Atmansky, and I'm here today with...
Justin DeClue.
Goo goo gaga.
Oh my God.
Goo goo gaga.
Oh no, Colin's been turned into a baby.
Oh, my
He's been
baby.
shrunk.
Baby want
or was
mercy.
he always that small? I mean, people couldn't see him, right? They use different cameras where it appears on Red Letter Media, but make him look larger.
It's like mirrors and stuff.
Yeah, it's like The Hobbit. It's like the set is broken in half.
What do they call that? Pepper's Ghost? How they do the...
Oh yeah, when you use like a reflection and stuff like that.
It's like Tupac's hologram. Yeah, I'm Colin Cunningham.
And he could be,
and he's a baby.
2 feet tall. Who knows?
Goo goo gaga.
I could not believe when Colin went, all right, after Son of Mask, that was rough. We got to pick a good one. And he's like, let's watch Little Man. Basically, like another CGI baby movie.
A movie that's shockingly similar to the one we
I had
just
no
watched.
idea. So this is like my big revenge plot for making me watch Son of the Mask.
I've already seen Little Man.
And I had never seen it. And I'm like, okay. And I put on the trailer without audio, I think. And I'm like, okay, we're watching this. Like this is stupid.
April, next time we're watching Baby's Day Out, right? For the baby trilogy.
Yeah, I was thinking, this kind of reminded me of Baby's
But
Day
I
Out
couldn't
a little bit.
believe how similar it was to
Just
Son of the Mask.
Plot-wise.
And like kind of character-wise. This
Are
was
you
much
guys
funnier, by the way.
Big, well, are you big Wayans Brothers fans?
Well, I have to say, I actually haven't seen a lot of their movies, but the ones that I have seen, I really liked. Like White Chicks might be one of my favorite comedies this is something I've just like realized recently. Yeah. Like I only just rewatched it like the other day, but guys, it's great. It really is great. And I will make no excuses for it. I'm
literally crying.
No, I honestly stand by that because it's really great movie, and it's
I
just
cannot wait
so
for
funny.
someone just to like leave a comment on SoundCloud underneath you saying that.
Well, their comment will be, "I agree, April. I think it's great."
Stop laughing at April.
It's
Although
109 minutes, White Chicks. That was my review.
I did see it with April, and I did laugh quite a lot more than
I remember laughing at White Chicks as well.
Yeah,
I think Terry Crews is the MVP of that movie.
Yeah,
he's really
he's
funny.
pretty funny.
I mean, I think it's a funny movie all over, but he definitely stands out. I did see some of their Scary Movie 1, but I hadn't seen that whole thing.
So now your favorite comedies of all time definitely go White Chicks, Little Man,
Little Man, yeah.
and then Miscellaneous.
And I'm gonna get you, sucker, which is the elder Wayans.
Yeah, so that was a big. I was a huge
funny.
fan of In Living Color when I was in high school. That was like everybody loved that show.
Me and April probably liked it too because Jim Carrey was on and the reruns
that
were
was
playing
the
on the
first
Comedy
time-
Network.
Probably anytime it's the first time anyone had seen Jim Carrey, David Allen Greer.
Well, we were all Rubberface fans, so we were familiar with him.
Nobody knew who the fuck he was.
I did catch a few reruns of In Living Color, but it wasn't like a watch every week type thing for me. I was more of a Mad TV fan.
Oh, well, this is before Mad TV, I think.
Yeah.
And
White Chicks, Mad TV, Little Man. Funniest things April has ever seen.
So, yeah, me and the family, we would watch it every Sunday, you know what I
Nice.
mean? To see what the Fly Chicks were up to.
Fly Girls.
J-Lo. Sorry, the Fly Girls.
You don't even know. No.
Fly Chicks. It was J-Lo. It was like one of her first jobs.
Yeah.
David
Ooh, I
Allen
probably
Greer was
wouldn't
hilarious.
rewatch In Living Color these days because some of those sketches.
Well, I'm sure you could say the same thing about Mad TV.
Oh, you could say the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
You could
I
say
think
the
there's
same
one
thing about
particular
Little Man.
character we could pinpoint on Mad TV.
Yeah, I mean, there's more than one. Yeah. I mean, I feel like if I went back and watched In Living Color, I'd probably be like 10 times funnier than if I watched a bunch of old SNLs, you know?
Well, yeah. SNL has never been funny. Let's be honest, everybody.
Yeah, take to Facebook and you'll find that out.
And I used to watch that every week for far too long.
Hey,
Wait, you used to watch SNL every week?
Yeah, like live.
When I was in high school, SNL, those are the golden years. It was like the Dana Carvey,
Colin, that's what everyone
That's what
says.
everyone says.
Phil Hartman. You know, I'm remembering it in a very compressed time frame.
Phil Hartman is very funny on SNL when he gets to do sketches.
I mean, no question.
Yeah, those were the days. You know, John Lovitz. You know, those guys.
Gilbert Gottfried, Robert
And-
Downey Jr. That was my SNL.
And Damon Wayans. was
very
on
briefly.
SNL. Yeah.
Very
Now,
briefly.
which one was that? Which Wayans is that?
He's the
There's
shaved head guy.
A million. No, but is
Damon
that the
Wayans-
guy from Little Man? No.
No,
It's his
that's Sean
dad?
Wayans, and it's not Keenan Ivory Wayans who directed Little Man.
No, it's another Wayne.
Damon
Ivory-
Wayans is the one who's like the really good actor and appeared in Bamboozled, the Spike Lee film. He's in The Last Boy Scout, Blank Man, and Lethal Weapon,
He always had
where
a
the TV
shaved
show.
head.
You're right, but that's not the little guy in Little Man.
No.
No, that's
But
Keenan
his-
Ivory Wayans.
You're Marlon.
that's
and
right.
Marlon. No.
No, yeah.
Listen.
I'm getting
Keenan-
confused.
okay. Keenan Ivory Wayans, he's the eldest Wayans.
Yeah, he directed
He
the
was
movie.
the host of In Living Color. He was the guy who came out and talked to the audience. He was also the star and director of I'm Gonna Get You Sucka.
Right.
He had a mustache.
Yeah.
Okay. Damon Wayans had the shaved head. And then you have Sean and Marlon in this movie.
Who are the kids?
They're the kind of younger brothers.
Yeah.
Marlon is the not good. Oh, sorry. Sean is the not good actor, and Marlon.
Yeah, he's the Zeppo of the bunch. For all you
Yeah.
Marx Brothers fans out there.
Marlon,
Yeah.
who plays the kid in this one, the baby.
He's the MVP.
He's just the mugger. He just mugs.
And
all
Marlon
constantly.
took the franchise of the Wayans brothers, and he directs all the movies like A Haunted House now, or
50 Shades of Black.
Did he do 50 Shades of Black? I
Well,
know
I
he
don't
stars
know.
in it.
I don't know if he directed it, but also he was in
No, he did not.
drug movie. But
Requiem for a Dream.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That was Marlon.
And now
And The Lady Killers.
the Coen
I
brothers.
The
didn't
Coen
see
Brothers
that.
movie. Yeah, he's in that one.
No,
Oh.
there's another Wayans, a younger one, the guy who was on New Girl. I can't remember his name.
No, that's-
Damon Wayans' son.
Yeah.
Junior.
Damon Wayans Jr.
Yes.
And that's the guy who's in comedy stuff now.
I think so.
He was,
yeah.
He was
Yes.
in Barb and Star briefly.
He was
He's-
in New Girl,
Yeah.
and he was
Yes.
also in Let's Be Cops.
Right. And Happy Endings, a show that I watched.
Oh, Happy Endings is so funny.
I love that show.
I think there's also a sister. And
it's a big
Yeah, the
family.
sister I think was in I'm Gonna Get You Sucka as well. It's a huge family, and now they've got kids, so there's even more of them. It's
the
like
family tree is extensive.
it's crazy.
But this movie, a lot funnier than I thought it was going to be. So I might just be a fan of their comedy. But I mean, I don't know. Like A Haunted House looked really bad just from the trailers. But maybe it was funny. Justin, did you see that one?
No. I did see 50 Shades of Black, and it's kind of like Zucker's Light, and I remember enjoying it.
I could do with some Zucker's Light, I think.
But not enough movies do it,
no,
to
they
be
don't.
honest.
Yeah, they've been continually doing it. Remember, like, don't be a homie while drinking your juice in the
Yeah,
hood?
that one is not very good. Yeah. Wait, it's
like a mix of, like,
something South
Jews.
Central.
Yeah, don't drink your juice while drinking your juice in the hood or something.
Is
Well,
that like
basically,
a
it
Spike
has
Lee parody?
every popular title of like the urban films that were coming out around. So don't be
Yeah.
a menace, like
Menace to
Menace to
Society,
Juice, Juice, and I don't know what Hood,
No,
Boys from the Hood. Boys
Boys from the Hood. What's South Central?
Oh, shit. I can't remember.
Oh, there's just a movie called South Central that came out in 1992.
Was there?
Yep, a man is put to prison for 10 years, coming out of So that's probably what they were parodying.
Okay.
Anyway, the Wayans Justin, you did a whole episode on the
Yeah.
Wayans brothers on
But
the
like
Important
everything that
Cinema
I talk
Club.
about on Important Cinema Club, it just like vanishes from my mind the second I finish talking about it.
Did Little Man vanish?
No, I remember Little Man, and I love Letterboxd. I can look back at my review, and it's like, it's like Proust. I remember the smells and the feelings of watching these movies, and rewatching it again. I actually think maybe I enjoyed it a little bit more, even though that I find the opening of it is death, where I'm like, oh god, when am I going to get to him being little and like having a huge dick?
Well, I mean, he's little in that opening, but yeah.
He is.
I will say, out of all like the Wayans movies, this was like, it's so outrageous in premise and look and CGI alone that most people, including me, would just be like, that looks insanely stupid. I'm not going to watch
This
it.
had a $64 million budget.
It made $104 million at the box office.
Wait, what? I thought it made like 50 something.
It made a profit.
No, worldwide.
Oh, worldwide.
It made 105. Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I think people maybe didn't give this a chance. It was parodied in Funny People, if you recall. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was not a good movie.
Oh yeah, where there's like Adam Sandler's like a little baby.
Yeah,
Oh
but they're
my
showing
God.
like the Adam Sandler characters' movies, and he looks exactly
So it's
like Marlon.
It's like
and
the
Little
fatties
Man.
in Tropic Thunder.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
As many people probably know, this was based on a Bugs Bunny short called Baby Buggy Bunny, which is the same premise. It's a little criminal who looks like a baby,
That's right.
gets adopted by Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, and it's like I was watching it, I'm like, God, this feels so familiar. And at points it is like a Looney Tunes cartoon. I'm like, okay, this has to have
but
been based on something.
good, unlike Son of the Mask.
Well,
Yeah.
Come on, you guys.
I found Son of the Mask like unbearable, like to watch. This I had quite a few laughs.
I laughed every time it cut to the horrifying Marlon Wayans baby. Like, he looks
All right, let's get it
so
out of the
bad.
way. When you first
April,
see it,
every time we do a comedy movie on the show, April's like, "It's good, and, guys. I'm going to convince you it's good."
this movie was good. I'm sorry. I wish it was funny. But yeah, it is pretty horrifying, the effect. But some shots look better than others. And then towards the end of the
It's
movie,
true.
I kind of just accepted it.
$64 million. This
Yeah.
film takes place in one house.
Well, it all went to the compositing.
That's amazing.
You know?
Well, it was 2006, and this is not an easy thing to do, to craft, sure, some of the seams may be splitting, but it
The
holds
lighting
together.
may be a little off in a few areas.
It's such a tricky thing to do, especially for like this length of time. Like, oh my
It's
God,
like
it's for a
every
whole
shot.
friggin' movie.
Yeah.
And, they don't even cheat it in any way, like with
No.
oversized props or anything. Like they just composite his head like
Yeah.
onto somebody for the entire friggin' movie.
Which I have to know, how did they shoot this?
They shoot it twice.
Did they
Yeah.
shoot it with a full-grown Marlon Wayans?
Yeah, so what they shoot it with, I think he had like a 9-year-old stand-in for this.
Yes, who was a little person.
A little person.
Yeah.
They shoot with that person, and then they have him probably later or in the same lighting, just doing the face of
with
like,
a green background and green clothes,
Yeah.
supposedly.
I'm shocked that this is as good as it is then, because this
Yeah.
is like, Hobbit level or, prequel Star Wars level of not knowing, like not organically being in the same space and being able to react and act,
Yeah. I mean, it never quite works, but I think it works for this movie. Like, it's good that it.
Well, it doesn't
looks the
need to
way it
look
does.
good.
Exactly, it's a comedy.
Because it's a comedy.
Yeah, it's not like, I'm watching Lord of the Rings over here. Like,
And the fact that like people are looking at this like monstrosity that's
And going like,
that is
"Ah."
clearly a man and
Yeah.
going like, oh, this little baby.
But also,
And his size changes like crazy,
yeah,
too.
he doesn't look like a little person. He looks like a CGI head on a little person's body.
Yeah.
He doesn't look at all like a toddler.
But it's
Which
weird.
is funny.
The way they treat him throughout this movie is so
It
it's so
changes.
unequal. Like they,
Because sometimes he's a baby, and then later on they're making him play football.
you don't
tackle
put, you don't put
football.
a baby in a crib and breastfeed it and then have it play touch football the next
Yeah.
day.
it's like
But it's like these parents are idiots because they're not parents. But then the other parents
and then
are,
like the next scene he'll be in like a little baby bonnet or something.
Yeah. It's ridiculous, and you know what? I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So we get we're introduced to him in the opening scene, which is it's a funny gag because you're not supposed to know that he's like little, so you just see his like head coming up. He's doing chin ups in his prison cell, and he
Yeah.
can't count past like 3. He's like 1, 2, 3, and then he like. What comes after 3? And he's glaring at his like cellmate, and the guy's terrified of him. And he's like, 4, 5.
Well, it's implied that he's forced the man to give him a blowjob as well.
What? When is that?
Yeah, because he's like Sweet Lips or something like that on his way out.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there's a lot of that in this
This
movie,
film
which I'm
doesn't
like,
pull any
good.
punches.
Because, spoiler alert, the little man rapes a woman.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah,
Yep.
but the thing is, this movie it's played like a kids movie. There's no swearing. There's nothing like
No swearing?
No, there isn't, and it plays like a very PG movie. But then you have these horrifying like implications.
Well, there's adult jokes in this. It's
For
full.
sure.
It's full.
You
of
know,
adult
yeah,
jokes.
it's a thinking man's comedy at the end of the day.
Yeah. But also, he has the strength of
Strength
maybe
of-
2 full
10
size
babies.
Men. Yeah.
So we see him getting like let out of prison. It's like Blues Brothers at the beginning. You
Yeah,
never
Tracy
see this
Morgan
as-
picks him up.
Yeah, but it's like the prison doors open and you see this big large shadow, like just probably a funny shot.
Tracy Morgan, fairly funny in this. He's definitely not the best performance in this at all, but he's holding his own.
Well, we know who gives the worst performance. I'm looking at you, Sean Wayans, and your
boy.
bring your
Say,
brother to
yeah.
work day, I guess.
Wow. Yeah, why does he get to be the star of the movie? Well,
the thing is,
he's not the star
in
of the
White
movie.
Chicks,
He's the straight man.
He's good when he's in the white chick makeup, but when he has to be like himself and be like sincere, and he just does not have the chops.
Yeah, he doesn't have,
I
like,
wish
much
he had the
charisma.
chops, but just he does not. And compared to Marlon, who can somehow make acting like a baby without even talking for most of the movie work, it's just.
I think you're putting a lot of weight on work there.
There's a discrepancy.
He is mugging it. I can't explain
mugging.
how much he is
And it
mugging
works.
and making
Bigger,
faces.
bigger,
Yeah.
bigger.
The faces are funny.
It's insane.
I have to like jump in front of like every bullet that April's fired, and it works. I'm like, no.
how much can
now
you
you've
take?
reversed the meme. It's usually me who's
Yeah,
jumping
yeah,
in
you
front
being
of
shot.
it.
Fight of Fury had the best color correct.
I'm never gonna live that down, am I?
No, Mordecai being good. You know what is probably the.
I'm shocked, as shocked as you are.
But Little Man being funny. I can agree. I laughed during this movie.
Yeah.
So
There's
yeah.
2 scenes in particular which are equally my favorite thing, which I laughed very, very hard at.
Wait till we get
Well,
to it.
we can talk about them when we get to them. But
Well, let's get to the hilarious setup for this movie.
yeah. So basically, Chaz Palminteri is somehow in this movie, but his character's name is Walken. So I'm wondering,
like
like,
Christopher Walken.
Was Christopher Walken cast?
yeah, maybe he like said no, or
That
so,
could be like a little hint.
I guess
that he was originally cast.
So it's like he's like, little man, I'm not doing that piece of shit. And then they just get Chaz Palminteri.
Okay, now do your Chaz Palminteri.
I don't know, what does he talk like?
He talks like Joe
Hey.
Montana.
That's kind of it kind of does. I want that diamond. I wrote the Bronx Tale or whatever it's called.
Do you think there could have been a situation like, I only learned of this recently. There used to be an actor named Fuzzy Knight. He was like a comedy sidekick in Westerns. And so his character's name was always like Fuzzy. And one day he couldn't make a movie. He left the contract. An actor called Al St. John took over the role. And the character's name was Fuzzy and it stuck. So now this guy was Fuzzy St. John.
Oh my God.
And so there were 2 Fuzzies that were actors.
That's
one
bizarre.
more popular than the other.
So you think that Chaz Palminteri is going to get stuck with like Walken?
It was like with Walken Palminteri.
Walken
It happened
Chaz.
after the
Chaz
the-
Walken.
With Chaz Walken.
Chaz Walken is a lot better than Walken Palminteri. It's just hard to say.
That sounds like some like back ailment or something.
Sounds like walking pneumonia.
Well,
Yeah.
the test came back. You've got Walken Palminteri.
Yeah.
You're going to have to stay off your feet for a few weeks.
Okay, so they have to steal this giant diamond. I love a diamond heist.
Yeah, and
in
it's
so many movies.
And they get this diamond heist over within like the first 10 minutes of the movie.
And like the
Yes.
main joke of this diamond heist is a rapping granny. You know, the old like, oh look, this
She
old,
wasn't
old-
rapping, but
well, it's an expression. This older white
Yeah.
woman is talking like the not white.
Yeah.
Isn't this funny?
She's doing street talk.
the
and-
Wayans do that a lot in their movies.
Oh yeah, it happens in
I think it-
that South Central. There is a literal rapping granny in that movie.
This woman, I forget her name, but she's from Mad TV, the blonde woman
It
at
must
the
have
bank.
been the older Mad TV. I
it
do
was-
recognize
it was
her,
the original
but I
cast,
don't
yeah.
remember. I probably wasn't watching.
She was
I
on
would've-
the OG Mad TV.
I probably wasn't a day
Was Will
one.
Sasso there back then?
Yeah.
Was he like
He
the?
was fat. It was the fat Will Sasso.
Was
he
there
get thin?
Will Sasso?
Yeah, did you not know this?
No.
No.
Yeah, he was really heavy in the first season, I think, and then he became the breakout star of Mad TV. Like he was really funny. He was like the Jim Carrey of like Mad TV, and then he ended up losing a lot of weight, so he became pretty slim. which is probably how you know him now.
I've never seen a slim Will Sasso.
I'm not saying he was like
Just
skinny,
slimmer.
just slimmer.
Do you guys remember those Vine videos he used to make?
Oh, yeah,
where he's
they were
like,
great.
Lemon! Whoop!
No, I missed
so
them.
funny.
I wish I could
He did
still
like
see them.
100 of them.
But they
The
were
joke was
so
just that he
good.
would get a lemon in his mouth. That's all
my
it was.
God. He was like the star for me of Mad TV, like when he did Elvis and like
Arnold?
Arnold, like fucking hell, he was so funny.
Steven Seagal.
Yeah, Steven Seagal. Yeah, so there was like a gag that, he's not funny anymore because he's skinny. And then I think it was the opening of one of the seasons of Mad TV. He's like, oh, I'm not funny anymore. Oh, yeah. And then he like starts eating all this food. And then they put like a fat suit on him and he looked exactly like he did in the first season.
I'm going to have to look this up because I am completely unaware of this.
Yeah, it was really funny.
How come Will Sasso has never gotten like his breakout role?
Yeah, I don't know.
He's barely even like a supporting character.
Oh, well, he was a breakout character on The Three Stooges when he did a Perfect Curly imitation.
Yeah.
True, but unfortunately, no one seems to know about that movie.
He just like pops up here and there. It's very strange.
He was in Happy Gilmore for a hot second.
Yeah, it's just like the most.
Yeah, he's one of the
random-
guys that makes a bet with Happy to knock the ball,
Yeah,
right? To
it's
the
one
next
of those.
house.
Oh,
Universe.
okay. Yeah, he just like, it's so random. You'll just see him in something.
Yeah, it seems like he works a lot looking at his IMDb, but on nothing like big.
No,
If you know.
and he's never the star. It's just like some background character.
But it feels like he should have gotten like some Jim Carrey roles. Did he ever have a
Oh.
starring role in anything?
He can't be a romantic lead.
It's
but
so
he
weird.
should-
Why not?
Well,
Well,
like,
I just
like-
don't know if he's handsome enough.
What about Chris Farley? He was like,
Ouch.
You're right. I mean, Chris Farley did it.
he should
All
have.
those Chris Farley romantic roles.
Like Tommy Boy, he always had like some.
Yeah, he could have been
girl.
the generation's Chris Farley, but no, it doesn't look like.
You would
I'm
think-
looking here to see if he starred in anything. It doesn't seem like
You
it.
would think at least he would have like some Happy Gilmore or like
Yeah.
Billy Madison.
He was
of his
part
own.
of the wild cast of Southland Tales. I think he had a serious role in that.
Ooh.
I don't even remember him in that.
Well, everyone is in
Well, I
Southland
think
Tales,
maybe
so that
he was
doesn't really.
an assassin or something.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I we got to do Southland Tales on this podcast.
Do we?
Yeah.
No, what are you talking about?
I know it's really long, but like if-
Southland Tales is amazing to think about, not that fun to watch,
Yeah.
as me and Will Sloan learned.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Little Man. So, how does he get the diamond? They just like
Okay.
grab it, right?
Basically, Tracy Morgan puts him in like a duffel bag that he like just
Yeah.
puts on the ground, and then like his little feet come out, and then
Right.
he tiptoes
And there's
over.
a dog in it.
Yeah.
Very
and then
Looney Tunes.
He like goes underneath the diamond, cuts a hole, and then like removes it. Goes back into the duffel bag. Tracy Morgan leaves, and then like the cops start
Super
chasing
simple.
them. And then I think so. In between, we're introduced to Sean Wayans, Mr. Charisma, and his girlfriend Kerry Washington.
Kerry
or is-
Washington, who is a huge star now.
Yeah.
I don't know if this was before that. Like, I don't know what roles she was in before. I mean, I know she was in Save the Last Dance, but I mean, when she was younger. But this is like pre-Scandal and like all the other TV shows.
That's
she's
right. She
done.
starred in Scandal. I was like, what was her
Yeah,
big show?
that was her big
She
show.
was in Mark Hansen's favorite, Lakeview Terrace, where she's threatened by Samuel L.
Jackson.
Jackson.
Oh yeah, she was in Django Unchained.
Yeah. Though she
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
have a
she's good in
line,
Django
but
Unchained.
yeah.
Brunhilde. So yeah, we're introduced to them. She's like this very successful businesswoman. Sean Wayans, I don't know what he does in this movie.
I don't think he has.
I don't think he has a job.
Yeah.
So
We never
again,
see him
it's-
work, so-
yeah, it feels like the Son of the Mask again, where it's like she's the breadwinner, he's like this, I don't know, man
And then
child.
there's this very funny scene where you think he's gonna like propose to his girlfriend, and he hires David Alan Grier with a keytar, right? Is it
yeah,
a
it's a
keytar?
keytar.
Yeah,
He's looking really skeezy. He's got this little pencil thin mustache and like
honestly.
goatee.
It was like he could come out and do anything, and I'm laughing because he's just so funny.
That's another guy. It's like he shows up from time to time. He's always funny.
yeah.
He was so funny in Living Color.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
like,
I think
should have
he's
done
been
more.
in like dramatic roles too.
I know, but he's so good. Him.
Rest in peace.
He's not dead, is he? No, right? Okay.
No, he's
Scared
not.
me for a second there.
Oh my God. Too
so
generally
yeah,
concerned.
so yeah, he's like, it's not proposing. He says, I think we're ready to have a baby.
He thinks so. She's
right.
like, I've got some news for you. He thinks she's announcing that she's pregnant
Because she's been throwing up.
because she's been throwing up all week. She says, I got that promotion at work. And then he's like, yeah, you're pregnant. He's like, he does not want to believe that she's not pregnant. And even when she tells him, I'm not pregnant, that's why I was throwing up, it was just stress.
Yeah.
He refuses to believe her.
Which is a little odd, but I mean, you have to give him some credit.
Do I?
No credit for him.
I'm just saying, as we all know, in the world of movies and television, if a woman ever throws up, she's pregnant. Like,
Yes,
it's
that is
never
true.
for any other reason,
This is
ever.
true. But even
so he's conditioned.
And if you cough, you're going to die.
Yeah, exactly.
Very soon.
But even, or if you like ask someone for painkillers, I've been having these headaches.
oh, God.
Oh, he's dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's like, yeah, I got this promotion, blah, blah. Even though she explains it to him, like it was just because of stress,
Yeah.
that's the big news. Into the next scene, they're at like a drugstore and he's making her get like,
And he's like, are you
pregnancy
sure you're not
tests and
pregnant?
stuff?
Yeah. But the thing is, it's a very like the opposite of the Sign of the Mask, where she's just like, we should have a baby, and he's like, no, I'm not ready, and she's just like, well, we should just have one anyway. It's exactly that, but reversed.
but yeah,
pretty
Kerry
much.
Washington doesn't want to have the kid
Yeah,
because she's like
she's
career
not ready.
woman.
She's just like, well, what's going to happen to my career? And I just don't know if now's the right time. And I want to have kids eventually, but not right now. And it's
Right.
funny coincidence.
So Tracy Morgan and Marlon Wayans are getting chased by the cops. They ditch into this drugstore that Kerry Washington and Sean Wayans are in. He puts the diamond in her bag, in her purse, just, so if the cops catch them or whatever. So then they they escape the cops, and then they stalk them to their house. And they're like,
Yes.
okay.
And then they figure out that the diamond is in the house. So how are we going to get it?
Yeah,
I'm
and
going
then
to do the baby job.
Yeah, then they overhear them saying that they want a baby, so they're like, okay. He's like, I'm not going to be a baby. So then he like puts him in a dog
So have
basket.
they done this before?
I don't know.
Yes, that's the
I
implication.
think so.
Because Marlon Wayne's like, I don't want to do it.
Oh, okay. So then, yeah, they dress him up as a baby with like a little bonnet, and they stick him in a dog basket, and then immediately a dog pisses on him.
In his face, yeah.
That's funny. I like that.
It's a little broad, but it works. It
Oh,
works.
whatever.
Oh, April saying
yeah, that
It's
was
a little
fun.
broad for
Or
this
a little
movie.
broad.
That was the one joke that was a little too much. I don't know.
It's a little broad.
Yeah, and so like then Sean Wayans is like completely into it. He's totally into it, and they're not
Well,
like.
the first joke is they open his diaper and they're like, he has a huge dick.
Yeah, and they're not like, this is clearly an adult man, because apparently in this world they can't differentiate between a child and a little person.
they bring him to the doctor, and the doctor is like, this man has the mouth of a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
It's like,
and they're just like, okay. I mean,
The doctor, then he's got like a tattoo. It says like 82nd Airborne. Like a military tattoo.
and they're like, who would tattoo a baby?
And then they go, how did he get that scar? Either he had his appendix out or survived a wicked knife fight.
and also he's like jacked. Like they made him have like abs. Like
I mean, all healthy babies have abs.
Yeah.
April, they're born with them.
Born with abs.
You lose them as you get older.
they just get covered in a healthy
In
layer
fat,
of
yeah.
fat.
I do have to say, it's shown that they live with Kerry Washington's father.
He's hilarious.
John Witherspoon.
He's very funny.
John Witherspoon
Is really funny. He's the dad from Friday.
A House Party.
He's the neighbor
Oh yeah,
from
neighbor.
House Party.
That's right. Not the dad. The dad was the
The
other
dad from
guy.
House Party
Yeah.
is
Baby's
He's
kids.
the dad from the Friday movies, is
Right.
what I'm trying
Yes.
to say.
He was also in Fresh Prince.
Sorry, I was going to say the dad from House Party is LeBron James in the new House Party movie, House Party
God.
2023.
Yeah, you didn't see that, did you?
I saw the trailer.
No.
That looks
Okay.
terrible.
Well, I'm not.
I
gonna
think
watch
that
it.
he plays a hologram in the film
He
because it's
does.
about like
Can't
people
even
taking care of his house
can't
and they
even
throw a
with this.
party.
It's like a security hologram or something, or
Yes.
that's the only way he appears in the movie is via hologram.
Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
John Witherspoon again is an actor that give him any line to say, and he'll just say it so funny. And
He's really famous for the Boondocks as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. But I think you can kind of also tell he's like riffing in the scene, and he just will just go off.
Well, he seems to do that in every movie. He's just really
that's
angry at
his
something.
thing, and he's just like a curmudgeon, basically.
I wish that he realized that he was a thief early on, and there was like a lot of shenanigans where he's trying to catch him throughout the movie.
They kind of reveal that like halfway through, maybe.
He figures it out a little later than you would
But
think.
he hates the baby immediately.
Oh, he hates the baby.
Like
Which is great.
what does he say? The baby when he's just sitting in his chair and he's like, "Oh, you can't just appear out of nowhere." He's like, "I thought you were Chucky. I gotta put you in a chokehold."
So yeah, they have an antagonistic relationship.
And then, do you have notes enough to take us through all the little man shenanigans?
Because
there's a
do
lot.
I ever? There's
I don't
tons.
know if we can get to all of them, but there's a lot.
The one that made me laugh really hard was Sean Wayans needs to take care of him, and the little man takes a frying pan and hits him over the head, knocking him out.
Yeah.
And then he sets him up so it looks like he was sleeping.
And he's just like, huh? What's
And his
going
wife
on?
comes home and she's like, "What are you doing? You're sleeping." He's like, "Huh? What? Oh, sorry." As opposed to being like, "Oh."
He just doesn't even
I
remember.
love how this scene ends, but it just keeps going as he's trying to like piece together what happened. He's like, I was playing peekaboo, and then
Yeah, so I mean, there's lots of physical gags. They have to take the baby's temperature,
Okay.
but they have to shove a
two
up his ass.
of my favorite scenes. Okay.
I have a favorite.
I don't
scene,
even know
too.
which one because they're both really funny. Is when they go to the park
Oh, and he gets hit in the nuts over and over again?
3 times.
You can't.
There's a
ignore
triple nut shot.
Nut shots
That's
are
funny.
always funny.
It's to like Harry Nilsson's "People, Let Me Tell You."
That was
About
Harry
My
Nilsson?
Best friend. He like.
And there's even like a delayed nut shot because you're
Yeah.
like, I know it's coming. And they're just like
throws-
watching
yeah,
it
he throws-
off in the
throws
distance.
a
The first one is like a
airplane.
baseball bat, and then like he's got this like gigantic plastic baseball bat. He's like 2 feet away from him, and it's like right in the nuts.
He's a baby. What are they doing?
He's really hard. And then the second one is for some reason he's got this like I don't know, it's like a air powered
pump rocket, yeah.
That like
Oh
points.
yeah,
It's just so
and
elaborate.
it just goes right in his nuts.
He like points it at his dick, and he's like, "No, don't you launch!" And then he's like, "Okay, now what?" And he's got this like plane that he throws. It's like it's like a boomerang plane, and then he throws it, and you know it's coming from like a mile away.
You don't think it's going to, and
It
then
like
does.
disappears behind these trees, and he's like, "Oh, where did it go?" And then all of a sudden, it's just like.
Okay, we need to introduce the other the friends, the other parents that they are friends with. Which very much is a thing. Like if you're at a certain age, it's kind of like all your friends have kids, and they're like, "When are you gonna have kids?" So that's kind of like the dynamic.
April bitterly talking about her older siblings
no.
and cousins.
Not my situation, but there's.
You're like, you put your cat in a little man suit and you
might
walk
just
Yeah,
around.
he put a little baby bonnet on him. He's really an older cat that we get him to pretend he's like a baby cat.
They're like, this baby's very fuzzy.
It's
He
like-
has a lot of hair.
Wow.
So we have
He's got a penis like a porn star cat.
We have the very funny Fred Stoller, who is a comedy writer. He's been on Seinfeld. He was in Dumb and Dumber. He's been in. He was on Friends briefly. He's been in lots of things, and
He's
he's
got a very
funny.
like awkward energy to him, which
Yeah.
is
So
really
he's
funny.
nerdy dad. And
Alex Borstein.
Yeah, he's married to Alex Borstein from Mad TV. You know, a Family Guy. She's been
Miss Swan herself.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, and then the other couple, so they're like the beta couple, and then
Yeah.
there's like the alpha couple. which
Lachlan
is-
Monroe is the guy. He's like,
He was one of the cops in White Chicks.
yeah, he's been in a million.
Lachlan Monroe. Now he was in Bruce Willis land for a long time.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah, he was doing those DTV Bruce flicks.
Oh, he has so many credits, and he always turns up playing like the douchebag.
Yeah.
So I think he's a Vancouver actor. So if you need like a douchebag in Vancouver, that's who you go to.
That's
Okay.
where this movie was shot, baby.
And his wife, I don't know the actress's
The
name,
little man.
but she's very funny. She was also in White Chicks.
yeah, he's like this alpha douchebag.
Yeah. And
Brittany Daniel.
yes,
Oh,
she was
okay.
in Always Sunny. She's a very, very funny actress.
She was in Skyline, all the classics.
Yeah.
So then, the baby comes out, and they're all horrified at how ugly. They're like,
and
oh,
they
Jesus.
all call it ugly, and
They're
they're
like,
like,
oh, it's so ugly. Alex
it's
Borstein
cute
says.
in a National Geographic way.
Alex Borstein says, oh, it's a gift from God. Sometimes God wraps gifts in a hurry.
Which is like, how could they even say that? But, it's a funny movie.
And then
And the baby loves breasts.
Oh.
The little man.
Oh my God! This is like the first of many like sexual assaults.
Yeah,
in this
so
movie.
he's grabbing at hot wife's boobs.
and he's like,
and
"Baby, want nursing?"
Okay, so here's the thing. The kid can it can talk, but not talk. They just accept it. They accept when it just talks.
It's saying goo goo gaga, and then like the next minute, it's going like, baby want boobies.
We also forgot to mention a big logical point of the plot, which is they're going to
Oh,
return.
wait, let me open up the IMDb goof stat.
No. This is just a plot point. They're going to return this child to its parents who they don't know, but child services is closed for the weekend, so they're just going to keep him for the weekend and have like a little test run for what it's like to have a kid. So that's why
Sure.
they are keeping this little man in the house with them.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's what.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
It's what you do.
It's airtight.
I mean, at one
when
point,
you get a baby.
At one point, they're like, "Let's do it, honey. Let's just adopt him." It's like, does it work that way?
It's funny that you mentioned that because the show Little Fires Everywhere with Kerry Washington has kind of a similar plot to it.
A little man plot with a little man who wants a diamond.
That's right.
And then she does her crying face.
Yeah. She started doing this kind of grimacy crying face later in her career.
Wait, is it all over like Tumblr or something like that?
But she did not doing that at all in this movie.
It's really funny.
She grew into it, I guess. But
she grew into the crying face.
yeah, I think it's like she started doing it and then she couldn't stop.
She's caught in that cycle. She can't get out.
I'm sure if you just Google like Kerry Washington, grimace or cry or something like that.
I think she
it'll show
even
up.
she tweeted about it or put it on her Instagram. She's like, "Yes, I've seen the memes," and she was laughing, but whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then he goes to like he wants to like nurse on this like the hot babe's boobs, and then they're like. They do a swapperoo, and Alex Borstein comes over, and he's like, "Oh!"
no, and he bites her, and it's like, what?
Whatever.
It's insulting to Alex Borstein, but whatever.
And then all the friends are leaving, and then he's like, "Oh, a little kissy for baby" to the hot one, and then he's like,
and then he
forgot
like,
about
yeah.
that.
he's like French kissing her.
So
Wait,
I mean, that's assault.
Did you also forget later on when she's changing his diaper, he like takes her head and like puts it in his crotch?
Yeah.
I actually did until just now.
Oh my God.
Oh, this is a lot of sexual assault.
April is just forgetting all.
I'm forgetting all the bad stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we were shocked for some of these jokes. Not like I'm shocked and like, I'm
Oh, my.
scandalized, but just like, wow, like
I have to lie down on my fainting couch.
Well, I think like a few scenes later is a scene where Kerry Washington wakes up and she's like, "Oh, you were so
Good last night."
Good
Yeah.
last night," and it's revealed that like the little man, I guess, assaulted her.
Well, it's like she had sex with Sean, and then they went to sleep. But I guess
little
little
man
man jumped into the bed and made
Had
made
sex with
love
Kerry
to
Washington.
her, and she thought it was him. So it was under false pretenses
That's gross.
and
Yeah.
not good.
and
not age well.
revealed at the end of the movie, impregnates her.
No,
What?
so that's actually Sean Wayne's face. It says on IMDb. Yes, it does.
Yeah, that was Sean Wayne's face.
So I always thought it was.
I thought it was Marlon.
That's what I thought it
Not
was as
what
well.
I thought. I knew that was Sean's face.
I only know this because I looked at IMDb where it says they superimpose Sean Wayne's face on the baby.
That's
and I was
the
like,
joke.
oh,
I thought that was the joke because he's like, "Oh,
yeah,
it
I
looks
thought
just
the
like
joke
the
was
daddy."
that he like raped her. And
No.
Well, he did.
Well, yeah, but I mean, no, I knew it was Sean's
And then she gave
face.
birth.
It kind
that
of
baby.
doesn't make it. It makes it slightly less horrific.
The joke is just that. Wouldn't it be funny if their baby looked like this?
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay, there's the bathtub scene. There's a lot of scenes of like little man getting abused or Sean Wayne's getting abused.
Yeah, little man has
I
like
shouldn't use the
stri-
word abused,
They're,
but
they're
you
trying
know
to
what I
like
mean.
give him the rectal thermometer, and he's like wrestling Sean Wayne's and like breaking his leg or his arm. Sorry.
Also, a wholesome scene where he steals the dad's breakfast because he's in like a jolly jumper and he like jumps around like Cirque du Soleil, which is not something those can do, people. But that's what makes it such a hilarious
He's using
premise.
it as like a little bungee cord, and he's like swinging over and stealing
steals
his bacon and
pancakes.
stuff like that.
They go to a hockey game.
Okay,
where-
now this this was going to be my favorite thing. Oh my god! But I've already said the nut shot.
All right,
so.
it's going to be my favorite
Okay,
thing.
go for it.
Because they go to the hockey game. Little man's getting drunk. He's drinking beers. He's calling women like tramps.
He
and
calls
they
the
think Sean
server
Wayans
a
is saying.
tramp.
He's like stealing the beer from the guy next to him.
But the best part is that one of the hockey players gets furious at them because the little man is heckling him, that he breaks through the glass, comes at them, and the little man jumps up and bites the hockey player in the neck.
Yeah, and as far as the hockey player knows, I think
this is a baby.
he thinks it's a baby.
But he kills that baby because he
That was-
grabs it, punches it multiple times,
And-
throws it on the ground, and starts kicking it.
And he's wearing a
He's not
skate.
kicking it. He's stomping on this toddler with like skates with
Yeah.
blades.
Yeah.
That's what's so funny. And it's a
And the next scene, Terry Washington is like, "Oh, it could happen to anyone. He's fine."
But it's like for everyone in the crowd watching this like insane hockey player is like stomping on a baby with bladed
Yeah,
feet.
that's why I like it, because it just took it to the next level. Like, again, that's like something you'd see in a Zucker, and it's like it's
Yeah.
a dummy, and I love dummy stuff, baby or no baby.
There's
even
a
though we
dummy
say
do-
baby, he's like a toddler.
Yeah,
size.
there's a dummy dog earlier where the he throws the dog out the window and it's like for 2 seconds it's like this like stuffed doll. It's really funny.
So I'm gonna say my favorite scene next, and that is the football scene. I
my
think the
God.
whole thing is hilarious, and it's a commentary on parents who get way too aggressive about their kids doing sports, and it's the kind of soft dad versus the mean dad, and he's like shoving his kid around.
Lachlan Monroe in this scene is like a psychopath. Like he's shoving and like hitting kids so hard.
Yeah, and then his kid like gives it back to him at the end, and like, what does he like, kick him in the nuts or punch him in the face or something?
I think yeah, little man he just like runs into his nuts with his
The Wayans, like Sean Wayans and Kerry Washington, should not be parents.
No.
You do not put a baby in football gear and make it play football.
Yeah, it's like they have those little rubbery necks. Their heads are gonna
This
break.
scene needs more like dummies being crushed and stuff
Oh
like that.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not enough of that.
Yeah, I was thinking it was building up like when Little Man's getting his revenge against Lachlan Monroe. Like something, he was going to do something harder than what he just did. He just like...
Or he like gets kicked and then like the little man fly through the field goal.
That would be a
It's
good thing, yeah. And he's just like a dummy with like a football taped to him.
Well, I remember really enjoying it anyway. I can't really remember what
April,
happened.
Did you like pass out watching Little Man?
We watched it last night. We didn't do the morning watch.
Oh, that's what happened.
We keep cutting back to like Tracy Morgan trying to appease Chaz Palminteri. At one point, Little Man tells him like, yeah, I put the diamond in the diaper bag or something. And he ends up giving Chaz Palminteri like a shitty diaper.
Like the little man could easily steal this diamond and leave.
Yeah,
he tries to,
At one
but he
point, he
can't.
tries, and then the grandfather like pulls a shotgun on him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and so
that's before he knew that he was
Take that baby.
He just thinks he's a normal baby at that point. He's like, "Who are you talking to on the other end of the phone?"
Yeah.
And then after the hockey game, they decide to like throw the baby a party. This is like where the football game is played, but then his favorite, it's like a kind of Barney the dinosaur,
Oh, yeah.
big stuffy
The
is like
star cameo of this movie.
singing at the thing, and it's Rob Schneider.
He pulls
A
off
man
his
who
head.
has very good opinions online. Don't look into it.
Oh, no, not Rob Schneider. But yeah, I mean,
He's a very vocal anti-vaxxer lately.
Oh no, him and Jim Brewer.
well, fuck that guy.
Jim Brewer. Missed How High himself. No, not How High. Half Baked.
Half-baked, yeah.
Goat man.
They're
or Goat
all
Boy.
SNL alum.
Yeah, your SNL, your favorite SNL cast member, Jim Brewer.
And then during this birthday party, the grandfather gives little man a teddy bear, and you automatically know, okay, there's something's up. There's going to be a camera in this bear or something because he
Well,
doesn't trust him.
This emotional development for little man, whose name is Calvin, I think.
I think so.
They give him a birthday like party cake, and he blows out the candles, and he starts.
He's never had a dad before.
Doesn't he have like a
family.
flashback or something? Or he starts to like realize that I never had.
He never had a loving family.
Dad, yeah, a loving family. And he starts to feel for these people and himself.
And this is right before the scene where he eats the diamond and then...
oh, God.
Well, he takes laxative.
Yeah, he takes a whole bottle of castor oil.
I feel that this is it doesn't live up to the potential of the little man taking laxative.
Oh, no, of course
you
not.
never see, like,
I
any
know.
shit.
That's
I mean,
the thing. It's
yeah,
like a PG movie, so...
Sean Wayne should have like picked him up and be like, "Let's give you a piggyback," and then he's like holding up in his face, and then like shit blows.
I
over
don't
the
want
face.
like CGI shit though, and I'd be worried that that's what I would
It would
want.
not be CGI
Not
shit
back-
in
not
2006.
back in 2006.
No.
This
Well,
would
they
be
did
real
the same,
shit. This would be like the...
Yeah, real shit. The Wayans brothers all got together and they pooped in one big tub,
This would
and they're
be-
blowing it in Sean Wayne's
No,
face.
this would be like that Ridiculous Six movie where Rob Schneider takes like a donkey full of shit
but
to the face.
that was CGI.
I think that was practical shit.
Yeah, because Ridiculous Six was only like 5 years
Go back
ago.
to
I
the
think.
videotape. But
I'm gonna look it up right now. Rob Schneider shit in face.
they did the same gag in White Chicks where they're in the bathroom and you just hear like the farts, the diarrhea sounds, but you don't see anything. But again,
I have
like,
a feeling
what are you
if-
supposed to see?
If this was going to be a raunchy or like R-rated comedy, of course you're going to like go that far. But for like $64 million, you can't risk.
You
can't risk an R-rated comedy. I mean, these days that's not very much.
Well, I remember like when Zack and Miri Make a Porno came out, which was after in the 2010s. They got an X rating for a like.
But then Bridesmaids does it, and everybody
Yeah,
loves
but they
it.
don't see the shit.
Oh, in Bridesmaids you do.
I don't think you
Do
do.
you? I
You
don't
don't.
think you
Oh, yeah, you do.
No.
Don't you see it all over the place?
Vomit. You guys are misremembering, but she shits in
Yeah.
the sink and you don't see it.
Yeah.
So there's like a 1.5 second, not even that. I think it's less than a second shot of someone getting shit on in Zack and Miri, and it got them an X forever until they appealed enough that they finally were able to get an R.
Oh, you're right. There is no shitting in.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a little
No
too
on-screen shit.
broad. Okay.
I've seen Bridesmaids enough time to know.
Yeah, a little too broad. A little
Yeah.
too broad for me. You need to kind of like you need to see the shitting.
Yeah, we got to
because
do.
then you.
we got to. Yeah,
It's all about the details.
It's like Babylon. You know, you got to see that.
Yeah, I want to see it
the
all.
shitting.
Yeah, but then there's this really dumb scene where Kerry Washington is like, "You got me a diamond and you hid it in
Okay.
the
Oh my
baby's
God.
diaper."
diaper.
This diamond.
Well, not the baby's diaper. So she assumes that he fed it to the baby, and then the baby shit it
No,
out.
I think that she thought that he somehow slipped it in after he shat in there. I don't know.
Also, it's a gigantic diamond.
It's
like the
so
size.
comical. It's
Well, you
like the
can't
size of like
swallow
a
it.
tangerine.
Yeah,
Yeah, but like, what does she think she's gonna do with that diamond? Use it as a ring?
The size of a
she
tangerine.
puts it on her finger later in the movie as a ring.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have any money, so it's set up earlier on that he just gave her a ring without a stone in it. So
Oh, is that what happened?
yeah, she shows her hand when David Allen Greer is like singing to her.
Well, that's sad.
So she like somehow mounts this gigantic diamond, which is probably worth like millions of dollars.
crazy glue.
That's a real like Zucker Brothers gag, like a gigantic object.
It's so big, but they don't really do
Now,
anything with
in the
it.
uncut version of Little Man, you see him shitting out that diamond, and it's like a prosthetic ass.
Oh.
And the diamond is like pushing through blood and just bile coming out of his cheeks.
I mean, to her credit, she does say, "I know this isn't a real diamond because you could never afford that." But the fact that you because like when he shits, Sean is like, "I'm not changing him. You're changing him." And she goes, "I did it last time." He goes, and yeah. So she thinks he was like doing that.
So this
to
is a
trick her.
romantic proposal.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just gonna put this diamond in the baby who's gonna shit it out, and that's my
Yeah.
proposal.
Yeah.
Oh
And
my
so that was a
God.
shit covered diamond, too.
Yeah. It's comedy.
Yeah, like she
gold.
had to wash all the shit off of it.
Yes.
And then she's putting it on her finger and going to a fancy
The
dinner.
Wayans, she should have taken out. It should have had shit on it. That would have been funny.
That would have been funny.
And she's just happy to see the diamond.
And she's just like covered in shit.
Hey,
Put us in a
this
test
isn't that
screening
kind of
for.
movie.
Yeah, she's covered in shit, and then she like kisses him. Oh, thank you. Mwah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big long stream of shit
We can
comes
have
off.
all kinds of jokes about things going in and out of asses, but we can't actually
Show it.
Yeah.
Show exactly.
All right, I'm gonna start a petition. There's a movie called Butt Boy about a guy that like puts things up his butt. You never see the butt. Biggest ripoff of the whole movie.
Well, then what do you see?
Nothing. It's just implied. It's a comedy. For people that don't know, they're like, is some porno that just...
So does he like stick his hand down his pants at least? Or, you know, like he's
No,
going to...
he just kind of like, I think he sucks it up. He has like a vacuum butt. What? But I remember the movie ended and I was like, but there's never a shot of a prosthetic butt and like stuff coming out of it.
Yeah, so then what am I
want to
here for?
see Jim Carrey born naked out of the rhino's butt.
Yeah.
God damn it! Tell me about Mel
what we
Gibson's
all
dick
wanna
and balls.
I think that's what we all want to see. Okay, so we're kind of getting to the end of this movie. The mob comes back, and now they're infiltrating the house.
the during that dinner, the dad catches on.
Yeah.
I think
that's the teddy bear.
Little man admits it to the dad. He's like, "Yeah, I want that diamond, and this is all a big scam." And then they get in a fight, and then the dad is committed to Whispering Pines or something like that,
Yeah.
Whispering Meadows, like
They've been
old
trying
folks'
to put
home.
him in a home.
They think he's losing his mind, but yeah, so they have him committed, and then Sean Wayans finds out that the teddy bear has like a RCA like input output.
And there's a hot mic situation.
He
where he's
watches
like,
the tape and he's like, "Oh my god, you got to go save your dad, and I gotta go."
What would you do, guys, if you found out like your cat was a man in a cat suit?
I would have myself committed because if I could be easily fooled, then I don't know what's going on.
Next thing you're going to hear me say is that White Chicks is one of the best comedies I've ever seen.
I stand by that.
After Mordecai. Yeah, so, Chaz Palminteri. So basically, Tracy Morgan and Little Man are running off with the diamond. Chaz Palminteri and his thugs show up at Sean Wayne's house. They start to,
There's
beat him
some
up.
comical antics.
But, Little Man, he's grown a conscience. He kind of loves
true.
the family that he's,
He loves the family that he's
to know.
sexually assaulted for 2 days.
Let's not mention that. So he shows back up at the house, going goo goo gaga, and then the two of them fight off the baddies.
Yeah,
And
together. There is a funny scene where Sean Wayans puts these like comically oversized gloves on. They're like sock'em boppers, I guess. And they make a sound whenever he hits something. That was funny. And then he picks them up and holds the gun with them. And he's like,
And then Chaz Palminteri is like, "How the fuck did I get into this movie?"
Also, Justin, the big like hulking bad guy who looks like a wrestler? Did they alter
Yes.
his voice?
Yes, they did.
Do you remember that?
Oh, I don't remember the gag, no.
'Cause-
He must have passed out from laughing by this
He
point.
has like a vocally modified lowered voice.
It's clearly
I want to
modified.
make sure I'm
It's
not
just like,
crazy.
Oh, yeah, so you talk like this. Yeah, that's all you get. You can just
Why would you do
play with the equalizer. It's very
He's
easy.
a big guy,
Weird thing
he's
to do.
hulking. Anyway,
He probably had a voice like this in real life. And they're like, we gotta.
so the cops show
Bum us
up and
down.
they're like, "Hey, it's the diamond," and they're like, "Oh, it's $100,000 reward for this." And then they're like, "Oh, well, I'll use that to fix my car." And there's a car chase, by the way. Molly Shannon shows up.
Oh
It's
yeah,
kinda
I
funny.
forgot about
poor
that.
Molly
Yeah, it's pretty
Shannon.
funny, but it was weird that she just shows up for one scene. But
She's like, I got nothing else.
Please.
She's appearing in Little Man.
Oh,
it was funny.
that's a funny.
She's a
scene.
good, great physical comedic
Yeah,
actress.
it's all right. She's just like an overworked mom in the car as they chase someone.
Yeah, it's funny. The baby's driving the car.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because the little man
Little
takes
man
the
drives
car
a
and
car.
drives off.
Yeah.
So they get $100,000 reward, and then the baby, he's all crying. He doesn't want to leave Sean Wayne's. He's like, "Ah."
It was a very funny
And then
scene.
it ends with Sean Wayne's going, "Okay, you can stay." And it's like, what?
Yeah, and then it cuts to the
credits.
I
And they
guess
say,
they're
let's
all
go get a beer.
Yeah, but then it cuts to like afterwards, and the whole family's all friends now. The grandfather's, they're
he's
with the
back.
little man. They're looking after the little toddler with Sean Wayne's face on it. Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
He's part of the family now.
Yeah,
I was okay with his ending. You're sounding like you didn't like it.
I liked it. Of course. How else are you gonna end this?
Well, we haven't mentioned Marlon Wayans' grimace in this, which is very funny.
Oh, I was talking about his mugging.
He makes this.
Wait, did you
face.
pick a favorite thing,
Yeah,
April?
I said the football scene.
Oh, okay.
But
So many good
he
scenes.
makes this like really
5
funny
stars,
face.
little
he
man.
makes a really funny face that I have seen little kids make that face before,
constantly.
and it was funny.
I was trying to screen grab it while I was watching it today on Netflix, but when you go to screen grab mode, it blacks out.
It don't let you.
Use Firefox, and you can take screen grabs on Netflix.
Interesting. Well, I'm going to take some screen grabs of this movie. I'll tell you that.
Going to the Twitter.
And then we come back with it sounds like a Smash Mouth cover of Harry Nilsson.
Yeah.
People, let me tell you about my best friend.
It might as well be Smash Mouth, right?
Man, there are so many VFX companies in this credits.
Did you work on Little Man?
No, but,
No,
yeah,
but
a lot of
some
them were in
people he knows.
Toronto. Yeah, they had like Technicolor
Wow.
Toronto.
Do you think they were like Kubrickian in their like need for the little man's look?
Oh my God. I remember when I was working at a company. I didn't work on the movie, but they were working on Love Guru. And there was like that sequence where they have the young Mike Myers, and it's just...
I've never seen Love Guru.
Okay,
So.
it's the most horrifying
Don't.
scene. It's him as a child, and then they have current Mike Myers' head.
Yeah.
And so the compositors were like doing the little man thing to Mike Myers, and it just looked horrifying.
Speaking of Mike Myers, I just want to say, like, every gag in this is way funnier than anything that like Mini-Me did in the Austin Powers movies, and it's essentially the same gags. You know, hitting the crotch, you know, running and
rape,
not talking, and
sexual assault.
There's
Mini-Me having a huge dick, which is a joke in Goldmember.
Yeah. that's
exactly,
true.
and I really just never thought that stuff was ever. I mean, I like the first Austin Powers. Let me put it that way, and the other movies have diminishing returns. But yeah, I just feel like it was done better in this. And in Austin Powers, it's like, isn't it funny that it's a little person? Like, that's the joke? And no, it's not. This is
you have to put a
better.
grown-up person's head on the little person.
Yeah, I guess.
That's
I don't know. Or maybe
funny.
maybe it's just there's no like obnoxious Mike Myers performance that I don't know. But yeah, Little Man, I liked it. So come for the outrageous CGI, stay for the hilarious jokes.
All right, Little Man would not recommend. Laughed watching it.
Why wouldn't you recommend it? I mean, yes,
It's not that funny. Like,
but you laugh.
There's
I did laugh. I would recommend other comedies before that.
What Wayans brother comedy would you say you'd recommend over this?
Probably 50 Shades of Black. They didn't direct that one though.
Oh, I
Like-
gotta see this movie.
Scary Movie 2 is really bad in a funny way and has an amazing Chris Elliott performance.
I've seen some
Okay,
of that
yeah.
as well. Not the whole
Yes.
thing, but parts.
I would say one of my favorites is I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. That was like big, when I was in high school. Maybe not as funny like in watching it again. We watched it recently, but it's still got some classic scenes. I don't know, Little Man. It's. I had some laughs.
I think I would recommend Scary Movie before that.
Okay. Triple nut
The
shots.
Mask. Yeah, lots of nut shots. Matrix parodies.
God.
The Scream guy goes, "What's up?"
Yeah,
At one point.
I guess maybe this movie is a little less referential.
White Chicks.
Obviously, White Chicks I would recommend
White Chicks
before
is
this,
much funnier
but
than this.
This movie is not bad. I don't think it's bad. Some jokes did not.
Justin is just like fighting his
We're
tongue.
not great.
I think that what we came down when we did our Wayans Brothers episode on Important Cinema Club was that slapstick comedy, not enough people do it, and it's funny when it happens. So even when it's very base, like in Little Man, it's funny.
Here you go.
Yeah, and I mean, comedy today has definitely moved away from that.
Oh, absolutely.
In a bad way. I feel like we need to bring it back.
Well,
Yeah.
I would recommend Shriek If You Know What I Did Last Friday the 13th.
Okay.
The other Scary Movie Scream parody.
Really?
That came out the same year.
Is it good? It's funny.
Oh, it's very funny.
Okay.
Very Zucker Brothers-ish.
Who directed it?
Some nobody name. Oh, a Canadian, I think. Because, he did a lot of SCTV stuff.
Oh.
Like he did The Last Polka and Really Weird Tales, which were their movies.
Shriek.
He's a
I've heard
Canadian
of this
television director and producer, John Blanchard.
Okay. I'm gonna check this out.
Speaking of new movies, I'm going to wrap up here in just a second. Justin, did you see History of the World Part 2?
No, I'm not watching that.
It's really, really bad.
It's really bad.
We couldn't get through the first episode.
Wait, were you saying good? I
No,
thought I heard it
bad.
go
No,
good.
Bad. I said bad.
Yeah, I hear it's bad.
It's a little
Like,
too
real bad.
broad for April's taste.
It was so not
It
funny.
didn't have that little man finesse.
How could a show with so many funny people in it be so not funny? I
would say that
shocked.
like History of the World Part 1 is not very funny either,
Well,
even though that I know that Mel Brooks had nothing to do with this one. It's weird because like it's directed by Nick Kroll. Like they were all involve creatively. How is it so not funny?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just none of the jokes are funny.
It's just they're all
and
just
it's like riffing
stinkers.
and like I'm like, oh my god, comedy is over. But maybe not.
But don't people like bonk their heads and stuff like that? You like that?
I didn't see any head bonking in the
no,
episode
it's
I
all
saw.
like just like clever witty dialogue that thinks
That's
it's
not funny.
way
Yeah,
more clever
It's like
than it is.
puns, kind of, and I don't know. Not
Bring
good.
David Zucker back. I'm sure he hasn't done anything that, looking at what happened post 9/11.
Every episode is okay. So Little Man on Netflix, at least if you're in Canada. So it's very available if you want to check it out. And if you want to email the podcast, we're at no such thing as a bad movie.
But remember, emailing the podcast is basically like throwing it in a void. Because we don't read
Hey, I read
letters on the podcast.
That is not true
You
at all.
guys don't read the emails?
I read the emails.
I don't have access to any emails.
You have the.
No,
you
I don't.
You don't have the credentials. All right, I'll send them to
No.
you. Well, if someone,
No, it's fine. It's fine.
funny
You'll tell
because
me if
like
anything comes in.
I'll forward them to you.
April reads them. I read them, but then I always assume that April will reply, and then probably
Yes.
vice versa.
I don't always
So I'm
reply
sorry.
because they're not always asking for a reply. They're just recommending stuff.
Some
but yeah.
no, some are very nice. Like
Absolutely.
whatever.
So we appreciate
I
emails.
read them all. I will
Okay.
say that.
Great.
Yeah, me too.
So no such
You
thing
can't
as
prove
a,
any differently.
No such thing as a bad movie at gmail.com. And we're on Twitter at no such thing pod. Also on YouTube, just search no such thing as a bad movie. And we're on Patreon if you want to support us there. Patreon.com/no such thing as a bad movie. If you are on the $5 level, you get access to our bonus episode every 2 weeks. And over 100 episodes are on there, including last week's, which was on the Scream movies.
Yeah, we talk about Scream.
Why did you do it in that voice?
I don't know.
No, she was trying to
Scream
remember.
movies?
Trying to remember what the schedule was. Yes. So the new movie, and we talk about all the other ones, and lots of stuff on there. And if you want to find me, I'm on Instagram and Twitter at April Edmansky.
You can follow me on Twitter at DeCluJ, DECLOUX, the letter J, and also on Letterboxd, Justin DeClue, every week on the Important Cinema Club podcast as well. And follow us on Patreon, please. So much good stuff on there.
That's right. Colin?
We need
yeah.
your money.
Sorry.
We don't do any ads on the show.
Well, that we
Like,
just kind of did.
what should we
We just
do
did an
ads
ad
for?
for ourselves.
Well, ads as in like we stop the show and we're like, do you need to mail something? Stamps.com.
Probably because I don't think we can.
Athletic
I don't think
Greens.
we can get some.
So even though we're not
sponsors.
sponsored, we just do ads like for stuff,
Oh, just for fun?
just for fun.
Hey, I appreciate being an ad-free podcast.
Stamps.com.
Yeah, my finger would jump to that skip button the second I hear a transition to an ad.
Oh,
no!
yeah, no, exactly. We will never do any sponsored ads on this show.
Well,
Well, never
it's
say
not
never.
true. Whoa.
I'm calling. Wait, hold on. Wait.
Where
Okay.
can people
Who am
find
I?
you?
You can. Where am I? You can follow me on Twitter, Sergeant Zima, SGTZIMA.
Thanks, Colin. And that's it for this week.
We're all out of sorts.
Yeah,
Because we're recording on a weekday. It's throwing off our rhythm.
Yeah, it's very late. and-
yeah, we don't know what's going on. It's super late time of 9:45. So we got to get to bed. But thanks for joining us. Have a great day. And I'm April
What is
Edmansky.
happening?
I'm a goo goo gaga. I'm Justin DeClue.
Now I'm Colin Cunningham.
And remember, there's no such thing as a bad movie.
Baby, want nursey.
God.
Baby.